WWE did it. They upset a lot of Mandy Rose fans. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what I am talking about, because Mandy Rose, she's been out of the game for a few years now, but she still is on the hearts and minds of many pro wrestling fans, many Mandy Rose fans. And they continue to follow her with her adult content, whether it be her podcast, whatever it may be. And I'll tell you why, because Mandy Rose, she connected with the fans for a certain reason. And I'll tell you that it comes down to connection. It comes down to being relatable, right? Because Mandy Rose, look, she is a supermodel, right? She's very attractive. We all understand that, right? But more importantly, she embraced the grind of what it's like to be in pro wrestling, what it takes to be a WWE wrestler, superstar, if you will. And despite the fact that she did have an advantage with her looks, she was able to put in the work. She put in the work in front of the camera. She put in the work behind the cameras, day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year after year after year. Whether it be at the Performance Center, whether it be at TV, whether it be at live events, she put in that work. And so fans understand, okay, yes, she may have had an advantage due to her being attractive, but at the same time, she was able to make it and get through a ton of adversity, because not everything was peaches and rainbows for Mandy Rose. She struggled on the main roster, right? She was there because of the way that she looked, and she fit Vince McMahon's weird criteria of who could be a star as a female talent in his company. But what she was able to do in NXT was remarkable, because she not only reinvented herself, she achieved success that no one could have ever thought that she could have, right? Just because, yes, she had a little bit of charisma, but her in-ring work always lacked, and that was always the knock on Mandy Rose. But once she went down to NXT, and once she was able to work with that young, hungry talent, and those younger talents, and being able to be at the Performance Center every day and learning from Matt Bloom and Shawn Michaels and all of the great trainers in which WWE has at their training facility down in Orlando, Florida, what happened? She got better. She became a pro wrestler. She went from a sports entertainer to an actual pro wrestler. And so when she reinvented herself, she thrived. And she connected with the fan base. She, alongside Gigi Dolan, alongside JC Jane, as part of the Toxic Attraction faction, during a very interesting time in WWE history, a very interesting time in NXT history, because you got to keep in mind, she was NXT Women's Champion when they were refocusing what they wanted out of NXT. All right, it went from Triple H's indie fed, where he went out and he had the top of the top of the top of the top indie talent and outside WWE talent in NXT, just having banger match after banger match after banger match. And then you also had a little bit sprinkled in these college athletes, whether it be football, baseball, whatever, basketball. And then it went to, okay, we're going to just shift to just having collegiate athletes. And oh, by the way, Mandy Rose is going to be the face of our women's division. And oh, by the way, we want every single person to follow her. She is now the new role model. I'll get to that in a minute. But today's topic, right? That's why you're here. Quickly, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to make it to 14,000, and consider joining our membership exclusive club. So she noticed something that was very interesting, because Mandy Rose has been away from the company since 2022. And as a former NXT Women's Champion, she took notice on the fact that in a video package on a recent episode of NXT, Tatum Paxley, that was, she was doing talking and they were hyping her up, WWE listed several past NXT Women's Champions, but Rose wasn't listed. And while appearing on the Power Alphas podcast, her podcast with her fiance or boyfriend or whatever, she talked about it because she had tweeted in reaction to this. She was disappointed but not surprised. She said this on the podcast: I also think it's kind of funny and hypocritical where, like, you can get recognized on TV. Let's say, including my name in that long list of superstars, but you can still sell my merch and action figures for the rest of my life. That part really gets me a little bit in a sense. Like, you're going to be able to sell my stuff for the rest of my life, but you can't even showcase or say my name, end quote. So what is she referring to? Now, look, Mandy Rose, she was let go by WWE in December of 2022. So for months, perhaps even years, I don't know. I'm sure some nice fellow down in the comments will let me know. She had a fan time page, and she was doing her adult content business on fan time. It's like OnlyFans, right? And she was crushing it with money. And even WWE would share some of her photos, right? Not obviously revealing, but like they shared one where she had the women's title with her at the pool. And so WWE got wind of this, and they're like, oh, we have to let her go. This is a bad image for our company. And it's like, but you've been fine with it for months. What's the deal now? Well, she didn't get an explanation. So she dropped the NXT women's title and then was released the next day. And since then, she's been doing great outside of the company with her fan time page. She has a point. You can't, they legally can. She signed the contract that they can sell her stuff for the rest of her life. They can sell stuff for the rest of eternity of Mandy Rose merch if they really wanted to. So you can't really have an issue with that. The crux of the problem is the reality of the problem, which is the WWE not even mentioning her, right? You can mention former talent in the right setting, right? Not everyone has to go to AEW links and show CM Punk backstage altercation footage on weekly television. But Mandy Rose is part of history, and she did help put over a lot of talent like Gigi Dolan and like JC Jane and Roxanne Perez. And the way that they've done things, the way that they've handled things with Mandy Rose, it's simply not the right way to do it. And so she does have a point with how they've been able to handle her. And it's not right, and they should change their ways. Do I think they'll change their ways? Of course not. But should they? Yeah, it's not right, it's not cool, and there's really no reason for it. Mandy Rose has not come out and bashed WWE. She's a little frustrated with WWE with how they handled things, but she's living her life, they're doing their thing, and all is well within the world. But when you throw a little shade at someone like that, yeah, they're going to be upset. Yeah, they're going to speak out. And yeah, they have a point to do so. You would as well, right? It's okay to defend yourself in certain situations like this. And Mandy Rose, she's absolutely justified for doing so. Let me know down in the comments area below, how do you think Mandy Rose handled this? And I will see y'all in the next video.